Welcome students. So today we are going to start our second lecture, reflection. In the previous lecture we have seen what is reflection. We have also seen the laws of reflection and the topic was types of reflection. So here we are going to start our second lecture, reflection. Okay. So before we start the reflection, okay, I am just going to repeat the one section, reflection again. Okay. So reflection. In the reflection, what we have seen that the only the one medium was required. Okay, at least the one medium should be there. So for the reflection, we have made the some diagram for that. And okay, so this was the mirror, and the upper part was called the shining surface. Okay, and the bottom part was called the polished surface. Okay, and the shining surface is also called the reflecting surface. Okay, so what was happening, one ray was coming from somewhere. Okay, one ray was coming, that was called the incident ray. Okay, incident ray, and after reflecting from a mirror it goes back in the same medium, or we can say that it bounces back in the same medium. Okay, this ray, it was called the reflected ray. Okay, and that ray was called the incident ray. In between the incident ray and the reflected ray, we have the one ray which was called the normal ray. Okay, the normal ray was there. So what we have called the angle between the normal and the incident ray. Okay, the angle between the normal ray and the incident ray was the angle of I. Angle I means the angle of incidence, and the angle between the normal and the reflected ray was called the angle R. Angle R stand for the angle of reflection. Okay, so from this diagram we have made the two laws. Okay, the first law was the incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal all lie in the same plane of incidence, and the second law was angle I is equal to the angle R. Okay, what does it mean? It means that the angle of incidence must be equal to the angle R. Okay, whatever will be the value of angle I, angle R would be the same. Okay, let's take an example for that. Suppose if I take the angle I would be 30 degree. Okay, then the angle R would be automatically would be the 30 degree. Okay, if I take it is at 35 degree, then it would be the 35 degree. If it is 40, then it is also become the 40 degree. Okay, so this the things we have seen in the last lecture. Okay, we have also seen the regular reflection and the irregular reflection. Regular reflection occurs only when the surface is the plane, and the irregular reflection occurs when the surface is rough. Okay, so now we are going to start the refraction topic. Okay, so in the refraction, let me write the definition for that, then after that I will make the diagram. The phenomenon of okay, the phenomenon of change in the path of light or deviation of light at the interface when it passes from one medium to another. Okay, so let me read the definition for that. The phenomenon of change in the path of light or deviation of light at the interface when it passes from one medium to another medium. Okay, so this is called the refraction. Okay, so what is actually happening? Okay, let me draw the diagram for that. Okay, but before that, one important word is there, medium. Okay, so what is medium? Medium may be like medium can be, it can be air, it can be water, it can be vacuum. Okay, medium simply means the particles. Okay, it means we can see that the particles are there in the air, particles are also there in the water, but no particles are there in the vacuum. Okay, the particles are not there in the vacuum, only the particles exist in the air and the water. Okay, so what is happening? The phenomenon change in the path of the light or the deviation of light at the interface. At the interface means the separation between the two mediums. Okay, so let me draw the diagram for that, and then we will try to understand what is refraction. Okay, so I am taking the glass slab. Okay, a glass slab, and so suppose this is the incident ray which is coming from somewhere. Okay, let it be A, B. Okay, this is the incident ray which is coming, and one normal would be there. Okay, the some part would be reflected. Yes or no? The some part would be reflected just because the light is incident on the glass surface, and the glass is the shining surface, so the some part would be reflected. Okay, but we are not taking into consideration of the reflected part, but we are only interested to find the refracted part. Okay, so what will happen if the glass slab is not there? So if the glass slab is not present, the light would have traveled in that part. Yes or no? Okay, if the glass slab was not there, glass slab was not present, what will happen? The light would travel in that part. Okay, but due to the presence of this glass slab, okay, this is the air medium. Okay, this is the glass medium, and this is again the air medium. What will happen when the light passes from air to the glass? Okay, it bends towards the normal. Okay, it bends towards the normal. This is the normal ray. Okay, this is the refracted ray. Refracted ray means the ray has passed to the another medium. That's why this ray is called the refracted ray. Okay, another this ray. Okay, this ray is acting as an incident ray for the glass. Okay, so again at this point I am going to make a normal for that. Okay, that is a B, C. Okay, and when the ray passes from glass to air, the first time the light is passing from air to glass, and the second time the light is passing from glass to air. So in that condition it bends away from the normal. Okay, and become the parallel from the actual light. Okay, actual path of the light if the glass slab is not there. So this ray is called the incident ray, this is the refracted ray, and this ray is called the emergent ray. Okay, so this ray, let us take it as a CD. Okay, so this is the, okay, AB is incident ray. Okay, BC is called the refracted ray, and CD is called the emergent. Okay, CD is called the emergent ray. Okay, let me also tell you, this is the normal ray. The dotted line is showing the normal ray. These are the first normal, and this is the second normal. Okay, so the angle between this normal, the normal and the incident ray, the angle between the normal and the incident ray is called the angle of incidence. Okay, the angle between the normal and this ray is called the refracted ray. Okay, I have written here. So it would become the R, and R stands for here refracted ray. Okay, and here the light is coming out of the glass slab. Okay, this time the light is coming out of the glass slab, then it is called the emergent angle. Okay, and this ray is called the emergent ray. Okay, so from the above diagram, what we will see that the light has bent on the two times. Okay, the light has bent two times. First is it bent towards the normal, and the second time it has bent away from the normal. Okay, so this is the air medium, this is the glass medium, and this is again the air medium. Okay, this is the angle of incidence. If I just want to write, so what I can write? I can write like A, B, N is the angle of incidence. Okay, and let me take some N dash. Okay, so it would become N dash, B, and C. It would become the angle R, and angle R stands for angle of refraction. Okay, refraction, and this angle is called the angle of emergence. Okay, so just note in your copies. Now we will see what are the laws of refraction. Okay, we have also seen the laws of reflection in the previous lecture. Now we are going to see what are the laws of refraction. Okay, let me draw the diagram for that. Okay, this was the glass slab. Okay, incident ray, normal, okay, the light would bend. It is again the second normal, and the light would travel in that part. Okay, incident ray, refracted ray, and the emergent ray. Okay, so on this observation, I am going to write the two laws for that. The first law is the laws of refraction. The first law is the incident ray, the refracted ray, and normal all lie in same plane of incidence. Okay, this is the same law as that we have studied in the reflection part. Incidence ray, the refracted ray, and the normal all lie in the same plane. In the reflection, we have seen that was the reflected ray, but in the refraction, we are seeing as a refracted ray. Okay, the second law was for a monochromatic ray. Okay, for a monochromatic ray, the ratio of sine of angle of incidence and sine of angle of refraction is constant. Okay, for a monochromatic ray, the ratio of sine of angle of incidence and the sine of angle of refraction is constant. So it would become mu. Okay, or okay, just let me write sine of I, okay, upon sine of R is equal to constant. Okay, and we can also take it the constant as a mu. So this law, okay, this second law is called the Snell's law. Okay, very important law, Snell's law. Topic for that, refractive index. Okay, so refractive index is the most important topic for understanding the bending of light. Okay, refractive index, it what is it? It tells about the optical density of the medium. Okay, it tells us how the medium is dense. Okay, what is it telling? It is telling about the optical density. Okay, so in the optical density, I am telling you, if optical density is high, okay, if the optical density is high, then the medium would be denser. Okay, if the optical density is high, then the medium would be denser, and the refractive index would be high. Okay, so what I have written here, if the optical density is high, then the medium would be denser and the refractive index would be also the high. Okay, second, let's take it as a case number 1. If optical density is low, okay, low means if the optical density is less, okay, it means the material is not so much dense, okay, compared to this one. So in that case, the medium would be rare, and at that time refractive index would be low. Okay, so much you have to understand the fact or learn the fact that optical density is high, then the medium would be denser and the refractive index would be high. And in the case number 2, if the optical density is low, then the medium would be rare and the refractive index would be low. Okay, so okay, and the refractive index, one more point, important point, it is denoted by by the symbol mu. किससे डिनोट करेंगे अपन इसको? म्यू से. Okay, this is the symbol for the refractive index. Okay, so just note in your copies. Okay, so now we are going to see the types of refractive index. Okay, the first type is absolute refractive index. Okay, it means that we are first understanding what is absolute refractive index. Okay, so I am going to write the formula for that. Okay, mu, because the mu stands for the refractive index, and the formula for that would become velocity of light in vacuum or air upon velocity of light in medium. Okay, so what I have written here, mu is equal to velocity of light in vacuum or air upon velocity of light in medium. Okay, I am going to write this. So I am writing mu, okay, is equal to velocity of light in vacuum or air. Okay, we write it as a small c, and for the velocity of light in medium I am writing it as a v. So the formula for the refractive index would become the mu equal to c by v. Okay, and the c stands for the velocity of light in vacuum or air, and the v stands for velocity of light in medium. Okay, so let me find the unit for that. Okay, unit, so what would become unit? Mu equal to c. What is c? C is the velocity of light. Okay, what will the unit for the velocity? Meter per second. And what will the unit for velocity of light in medium? It would become again for the meter per second. Okay, दोनों यूनिट क्या रही है? सेम आ रही है. Okay, so mu equal to what? This would cancel and it would become, okay, so it would become what? Mu has no unit. Okay, just note the important fact that the mu has the no unit. Okay, this is the formula for the absolute refractive index. Okay, one more thing I can write, mu is equal to the c by v. Okay, the c is the constant. Okay, because the velocity of light in vacuum or air, it is constant, and the c is equal to what? 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Okay, if we just I want to write, what I can write, mu is equal to mu inversely proportional to 1 upon v. Okay, mu inversely proportional to 1 upon v. So what will happen if v is high? V is high. Okay, v means what? Velocity of light in medium. Then mu would be less, or I can write low. Okay, it means for the any medium whose refractive index is low, then the velocity of light in that medium would be high. Okay, in the second case, if v is low, okay, if the velocity of light is low, then the mu would be high. Okay, so in both the cases we have seen that the mu is inversely proportional to 1 upon v. Okay, it means that if one time the v is increasing, then the mu will decrease. If the v is decreasing, then the mu would increase. Okay, just noting the copies. Okay, now we are going to see what is the relative refractive index. Relative refractive index. Okay, so in the relative refractive index I am going to relate the one medium with the another medium. Okay, so what I am going to write, I am just going to write the mu, then I will change the formula. Velocity of light in medium A. Okay, velocity of light in medium B. Okay, so what is happening? So let us take the example for that. Okay, suppose this is the medium A and this is the medium B. The light is coming from medium A. Okay, I am not telling you it is a rare medium or the denser medium. I am just taking the example. If the light is coming from the medium A, okay, so let us draw the normal for that. Okay, the light would either bend this way or that way. Okay, if it is a rare medium or denser medium, according to the situation will change. So what is actually happening? The light is coming from the medium A and is going to the medium B. Okay, so what we are interested? We are interested to find the refractive index for the medium B. Okay, what we are doing? We are finding the refractive index for the B. Okay, so what I will write? I will write this formula like this. Okay, the light is coming from medium A and is going to the medium B. So I am going to write A mu, okay, A mu B. The light is coming from the medium A and going to the medium B. Okay, so I would write as a velocity of light in medium A upon velocity of light in medium B. Okay, suppose what will happen when the light is passing from the glass to water? How will I write the formula for that? I will write G mu A. Okay, it would become the same line, velocity of light in medium A. So I would write velocity of light in glass upon velocity of light in what? Where? Air. Okay, so this is the formula that I am going to write. Okay, A mu B मतलब velocity of light in medium A upon velocity of light in medium B. Okay, so just note in your copies. Okay, so rare medium and denser medium. Okay, what is the rare medium? Rare medium is whose optical density is low. Okay, जिसकी ऑप्टिकल डेंसिटी कम होगी उसको बोलेंगे हम रेयर मीडियम, जिसकी ऑप्टिकल डेंसिटी ज्यादा होगी उसको बोलेंगे हम डेंसर मीडियम. ओके, सो इट मींस दैट the medium which is rare, okay, whose refractive index would be low. Okay, on the other hand, whose medium whose refractive index is high, then the medium would be the denser medium. So let us consider the case. Okay, okay, so this is the separation between the two medium. Okay, for I am telling it that this is the rare medium and this is the denser medium. In the second case I am taking it as a denser medium and the rare medium. Let me draw the incident ray. Okay, this is the incident ray which is coming from the rare medium and this incident ray is coming from the denser medium. Okay, like this. So let me draw the normal for that. This would be the angle I, and in this case also it would be the angle I. This is the incident ray which is coming from the denser medium and this incident ray is coming from the rare medium. Okay, this is the interface between the medium. Interface means the separation between the rare medium and the denser medium. Okay, or the separation between the two mediums. Okay, so what will happen when the light is coming from the rare to denser medium? Okay, it will bend towards the normal. If the separation of the medium was not there, what would happen? The light would have traveled in that part. Okay, it will also apply in that case also. Okay, so if the separation of the medium was not there, so what would have happened? The light would have traveled the dotted line or the dotted part. Okay, but due to the separation of the medium rare to a denser, the light will bend towards the normal. The light has bent towards the normal. Okay, so rare to denser, it will bend towards the normal. Okay, and in the case of denser to the rare medium, when the light passes from denser to rare medium, okay, it bend away from the normal. Okay, it has bent away from the normal. Okay, ये दूर जा रही है लाइट यहाँ से, यहाँ जाएगा denser to rare, it will bend away from the normal. Okay, so just learn the important fact that when the light passes from rare to denser medium, it bends towards the normal. When the light passes from denser to rare medium, it passes away from the normal. Okay, just write this. And now we are going to solve the one numerical for that. So this is the question. The speed of light in air is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second if refractive index of glass is 1.5. Find the speed of light in glass. Okay, so this is a numerical that we are going to solve. The speed of light in air is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. If the refractive index of glass is 1.5, then we have to find out the speed of light in glass. Okay, so just try to solve in your copies. Okay, let me start. So the speed of light in air is, so what will I write? The speed of light in air, VA divided by VA. Okay, it will become 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Okay, if the refractive index of glass, okay, in the question, refractive index of glass, and what it is asking about the speed of light in glass. So mu g, okay, mu g would become 1.5, and there will be the no unit because the refractive index has no unit. Okay, in the above question we are seeing only the two mediums, air, glass. Okay, so what is really happening? The light is passing from air to the glass. So I can write like this: A mu g is equal to the 1.5. Okay, so let me write the formula for that. A mu g is equal to the velocity of light in air upon velocity of light in glass. Okay, what is the A mu g? A mu g is 1.5. Velocity of light in air. What is the velocity of light in air? 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. In glass, let me take the Vg. Okay, so now just cross multiply and you will find out 3 into 10 to the power 8 upon 1.5. Okay, so meter per second, unit is there, meter per second. So Vg equal to 30 into 10 to the power 8, 15. Okay, the decimal has shifted. Okay, the 10 would come and the 10 would go to the numerator side. So Vg would be equal to 15 minus the 15, 15 2 times 30. Okay, 2 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Okay, so this is the velocity of light in glass medium. Okay, so from this above, what we have seen that VA was, okay, VA was 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second, and the Vg has become 2 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So VA is greater than Vg. Okay, but from the previous, we have seen that the mu is inversely proportional to V. So according to this relation, mu A would be less to the mu G. Okay, so this was the numerical that we have studied. Okay, in the next lecture we will see the some more lectures about the refractive index and some more new topics. Okay, so till now, thank you.